Husky, and today I'm going to show you guys how to import your Roblox character into Blender and then pose it. The first thing we need to do is open Roblox Studio and then open a base plate. And you're going to need Already Pros plugin to import your character. I'll have the link down in the description. Type in your username, not the nickname. Make sure to spawn at Origins check and spawn R6. And then we're going to select our hats. You can hold Control to select multiple. And then Control X to cut or right click cut. Control V to paste them back in. And then we're going to group those. And I did it that way so that they at least stay together in the right position. Now we're going to grab these and then snap it to the head. If you don't use F3X, you'll have to use the basic tools. It's a little bit longer, but it's doable. Just gotta pull these up. And then, once you get them to where you want them, we're going to right-click our character and export it, and then put in Documents, save it. I'm going to just save it over my avatar. And then Model, or your hats, you're going to right-click, Export, Hats, Save. Yes. And then we're going to Blender. I'll have a link for this down in the description below. We're going to open up the rig. And here's the rig. The credit goes to Matt. I don't remember the full name, but I'll have it on the screen. I did some modifications to this one. I changed the tab to be like the standard layout because it was a bit confusing. And to simplify it, I changed the nodes. So I'll put the original and then my version as well because I just made it more simple, basically. So we go to Open, and then go to where you saved it. I saved mine Documents, and you can see right here, my files, Documents here. There's my shirt right there. Now just click that, and you should see the clothing. And you may notice like the texture is like more amplified. So this bump node here, you can adjust this if you want to give it that depth. You can bring this up or bring it down all the way if you don't want any of it. And then you can adjust the distance too. And then once you're happy with that, we're going to go File, Import, OBJ, go to our save, at, and then split by group, import. And then we're going to hit RZ180 to flip the hats around. The rig is like that because if you flip it around, the hats will go on backwards once you attach them. But at any rate, you see the hats are like see-through. We're going to fix that. So we're going to click on one of the hats and click this materials property. And then scroll down to viewport display. Click that, scroll down more. Where it says blend mode, alpha blend, we're changing that to opaque. And we're going to do that to all of them. And I'm not sure if this is just something for... Actually, never mind, I was on cycles. But you want to change it to EV so it's not as strenuous on your computer. So now we're going to select all of these, and you hold shift to select multiple. And then right click. If you look at the cursor to our feet, we don't want it there. So we're going to move it to origin of center of mass. Like that, and it moves the cursor into the center of it. we're just going to move our hats down till it is in the correct place. And everything should be the correct texture. And if for some reason something isn't the correct texture, you may need to redo it, or you could go to each of these hats. And it saves the textures here, so like you could look at these and choose whichever, but it should import with the texture. So now the next thing we're going to do is to rig these to the body, so that whenever you go to pose this, that the parts go with your character, otherwise it just slides out from under it. So in the layout tab, we're going to select the glasses and the hat. Basically anything that is on your head, select it. And then go to the square icon called Object Properties. Name it, or not name it, go to Parent, which is under Relations. So you click that down, type Head, and then there should be Mesh Head. Click that, and you can deselect it. So now, whenever you select the armature and then go to Pose, and you like pivot the head, it should go, but you might have to do them individually, actually, now I think about it. So, set them at individually as head. And then you should be able to rotate your head and it all stay there. So now we got to connect our backpack, gun, and our satchel to torso, which is going to be a little bit different. These you can select all three of them, and then also select the armature. So now we're going to hit Control P, and then hit bone. So now when you move your character, everything should go with you. And I'm noticing that my hats aren't really moving with me. So after a bit of messing with it, I got it. So I just basically did these one at a time, and it seemed to have fixed it by doing bone one at a time, just selecting each of these. And so now when I do this, everything stays with it. So when I rotate it, everything should stay. So now how to pose it. Actually, no, before I do that, I'm gonna show you guys how to attach a weapon to your character. So I'm gonna use my gun that I built, and we're going to go model and then group, right click, export selection, and then I'm going to do it as gun. And then we're going to go back to Blender and go to File, Import, Wavefront Object, and then select the object, and then go to Geometry, make sure Split by Group is off now, and then Import Object. And it'll spawn out of place. We're just going to right click it, origin to center of mass. And then we're just gonna place this into our right hand, which is this arm right here. And then R, Z, 180, or not 180, 90. And then I'm going to do RX 180. Well, actually, that's a little too much. 90. There we go. And then I'm just going to move this gun into my right hand. I want to put it in its like straight position as well, so because this is going to attach to my hand. And so what you do is you click the gun and then the armature, and then we're going to hit Control P again, bone, and then now we're going to make sure that it's working properly, so we're going to click this armband, and my hat is moving with it. Okay, so whenever you are attaching these, before you do the Control P bone, you want to make sure these parents are set. So your torso hats are going to be set to main, and your gun is going to be set to your right hand, or your weapon of any kind, or left arm if you prefer left-handed. So now you should be able to select your armature, click pose mode, and then you can click this top band, which will move your shoulder basically, well, the entire arm, and then hit Control X and it'll move it up and down. And then this piece, so the second band is going to move your elbow. And then this squiggly line, this moves your hand. Or your wrist, I guess. And then you hit RX, or not RX, RZ, it'll move your gun inward. Or arm inward. RY will rotate it like that. So we're just going to move that. And let's say you're not happy with your movement here. Just hit A, right click, and then you can clear transform and it'll put everything back to normal. And then you can do RZ. Well, actually, that's the wrong part. RZ. That will rotate everything but your head. And then we can move this. R. And if you do like RZ, it's going to not move the same as it did before, so you might just want to do R. I'm gonna bring that up. Over to here. And you can also move the arm outward. And then give it a level of realism, we can bend this. And then we bend this arm down, like so. And then this circle is our neck, so we can tilt our head. I'm gonna make my character look like she's aiming, so we're just going to move this arm till the sight is in front of my eye as close as I can. It'll look kind of weird for a little bit, but you just gotta mess with it until you're happy. And you can still move the gun somewhat in your hand, or you can still move it around. So if you're not happy with like its position, you can just go object mode and rotate it there. Then we're going to bring this right arm up. And I'm going to bring this way up actually. And then we're going to bring this down. And then going to put this under the barrel here because it's for that hand grip we got. now I can adjust the legs since I've got the top ready. And this right here is going to move the entire leg, just like the arm. And this is going to move our knee. And the square on the foot, that's going to move your foot, as you might have already guessed. So, I'm going to bring our leg up, bring our knee down. So we're going to make him look like he's crouching a bit. We're going to rotate our foot up. That's the wrong piece. This right here is our foot. And then to move the whole character down, you select the big middle piece. And then bring it down. And bring this leg up. And you just basically, at this point, adjust it until you're happy. And then that's basically how you'd pose a character. So, if you're making GFX, you just need to add in a light, so that would be Shift A, sun. And then we're going to do rendered, view. Make sure you're on Eevee if you have a low-end computer. Then go to this light bulb, adjust the strength. And you can just click and drag it to slide it up. Just adjust the lighting until you're happy with it. And also, if you want this like bump texture on your hat, you just go to shading, click on the hat, and you just move this right here out of the way. That's just the alpha. We don't really need to worry about that. Just hit Shift A, search, bump. That gives us our bump node. We plug the normal into normal. And then you bring this over, bring color into height. And then, if you look at my helmet, I adjust the strength, and you can see that it increases the depth of the texture. So that's how you would add that to your hats, if you're interested in that type of deal. I personally don't like it to be too heavy of a bump texture because it can look not that good depending on how the texture is. So then you just do Shift A and you go to your camera. And to reset your camera, you'd hit Alt R. It might be Control Alt R. I changed my setting. Your key map. So, if Alt R doesn't work, just go to Edit Preferences, and you type Rotate here under the key map, and you'd find Clear Rotation, which is this, and you can change it or use that command. I remember having to change mine because of the it was interfering with software. So, anyway, click on your camera and then you hit RX, and then you can type 90 and that brings your camera straight up at your character. And then you can hit 0 and it'll zoom in to your character. Or show you camera view, my bad. And then you can hit G while it's selected and just slightly adjust the camera. And then you'd want to change your render properties. This isn't gonna matter too much to change your render viewport for at least this. from what I noticed, and you can like turn on bloom and ambient occlusion, which might help depending on what you have. And you can play with the shadows there if you want to. And film, transparent, gives you a transparent background. You could like build an environment or do something in the background, or you can just import a transparent background character like this to like Photoshop, GIMP, or whatever and make your own background, which a lot of people do. If you want to change your world color, you go to this planet looking thing, world properties, click color, and you can see it changes like this glow around your character. So you can like do something like that too. And to reset it, you just slide the H and S value all the way down. And then you can just adjust the brightness. And then you go to output properties, and if you are doing 1080 by 1080, do that, but I use 2K, so it'll be 2560 by 1440. And then just gonna change my camera. And then once you do that, you want to set your file format to PNG, RGBA. I like to put mine on 16 color depth, but I don't think it really matters too much. Make sure to change your file location to somewhere you can find it. And then for the camera, you can click this camera button and you can change the focal length, or you can change to field of view, which I personally prefer to use. And you can also shift your camera here too, just like that. And if you're not sure how it's going to look, you can always just come up here, render image, and then see how it looks, and you can always just adjust it until you're happy with it. I'm pretty happy with this, so I'm going to go image, save as, and then I'm going to name it whatever. I'm just going to leave it as untitled, and then save image. And then you'll know you have it correct when you click it and it has no checker background or anything. It's just a solid gray or whatever. And I hope this video helps. If you're interested in more videos like this, please subscribe, because I'll have more videos like these in the future. See you in the next.